I think this year's free agency is going to be way better than last year's. We have guys like Steven Strasburg, Anthony Rendon, Garrett Cole, and Madison Bumgarner into free agency this year, although Steven Strasburg and Anthony Rendon are seen to be returning to the Nats. But there is one thing that seems to be getting buried into all this news. What are the Red Sox going to do? The Red Sox recently added a new president of baseball operations, and he will be in charge of cutting down that enormous payroll that the Red Sox have acquired over the last 2 years. They're trying to become an affordable playoff team. Not quite Moneyball, but not as much as what they have been spending as of late. The last 2 years, the Red Sox have been on top of the payroll in the MLB, ranking 1 for the last 2 years. They won a World Series in 2018. That is very recent. But they did miss the playoffs this year, and I don't know why, but it often leads teams to making like a fake rebuilding period within their team. The Red Sox do not need to rebuild, but it always forces these teams to make big changes. I guess making the playoffs 3 years in a row gets overwritten by missing it once. I don't get it. As of right now, the Red Sox are set to appear number 1 in payroll yet again in 2020. You have David Price set to make $32 million, Mookie Betts set to make $27 million, JD Martinez opting in is ensuring him a large payout of $23 million, and Chris Sale's getting $30 million while Xander Bogaerts is also getting $20 million. A lot of them players decided to secure the bag. But look, I'm done reading all of their big contracts. There are more than that in the $10 million to $15 million range. But this isn't a list video. And I'm going to be honest with you, if any one of you have heard those contracts and said, oh damn, that sounds amazing, well then I have this drink called Tank Mode that I'd like to sell you. And by my calculations, it will only cost $224 million. The Red Sox are trying to cut their payroll down. And as you can see by those contracts, that is the opposite of what they are currently doing. One of the things that surprised me was just how excited Red Sox fans seemed to be when JD Martinez decided to opt in. Talk about a total disconnect from a fan base to the team itself. The fan base was like, hell yeah, I want to retain that elite bat, while the organization was like, well shit, now I gotta get rid of somebody that I actually want. Let's not get it twisted. The best case scenario for the Red Sox as a team was JD Martinez opting out of his contract. And there was no way in hell he was opting out. Put yourself in his shoes. Is his bat still elite? Yes. But he's a 32-year-old designated hitter. The market is not so good for him right now. He's set to make $23 million this year, with the following 2 years after that being $19 million. Unless you can guarantee me that he would have gotten a better contract than the one he currently has, which you can't, it's 100% always going to be an opt-in situation. We are not talking about Steven Strasburg, who just won a World Series. So in order for the Red Sox to get where they want to be, what are their options? Well, I don't think they can trade JD Martinez because he would have opted out if he thought that any other team wanted him. So they're not going to trade him because no other team is going to give them any valuable assets in return. Kind of like how the Marlins got completely robbed with Yelich and Giancarlo Stanton. Also, we're talking about the Red Sox. We're not even talking about the Marlins. The Red Sox don't want to have losing seasons. They are not trying to tank. So no, I don't believe this is a rebuild situation. I don't think that their version of cutting the payroll means let's get rid of our best talent for assets, young assets that will blossom in the future. They still have young talent. They still have Xander Bogaerts, Andrew Benintendi, Rafael Devers. Wait, why aren't you saying Mookie Betts? Yep, apparently the Red Sox are going to be looking to move Mookie Betts. A grown star within the organization, an MVP winner at just 25 years old, and he can actually play defense. Mookie is set to become an unrestricted free agent after next season, the 2021 season. And with the Red Sox trying to cut back on payroll, it is unlikely that they would offer him a contract that he deserves, which means he's gone regardless. It is the classic situation of, do you want to just lose your star for nothing, or do you want to get some type of assets in return for them? And this is exactly the reason why I don't understand why Red Sox fans wanted JD Martinez back so much. I know he's an elite bat, but he is a defensive liability, and that keeps him at the DH spot. Meanwhile, you're losing a guy who won the MVP at 25 years old. He's a 4-time Gold Glove winner. He's a 2-time Silver Slugger Award winner, and he's a 4-time All-Star. He finished 2nd in the MVP race at age 23, 6th at age 24, and while this one isn't particularly amazing, he finished 19th place at just 22 years old. We don't even know if JD's bat's gonna stay elite as he gets older. What's very common is that players will seem to just drop off with no fair warning. It happens all the time. You have a guy who can hit the ball really well, and the next year he just seems to have lost all of his power. Not power as in home runs, just skill altogether. Whether you want to believe it or not, the Red Sox are in an extremely awkward position. That's because they still finished with a winning record, but it seems that the Red Sox either don't think that they have enough to make it to contender level, or they feel like they can do it at a much lower payroll. And honestly, both scenarios make a ton of sense. Maybe the Yankees are too good. Maybe the Tampa Bay Rays are in that perfect Moneyball spot with the assets that they currently have, and the Red Sox might just not be able to keep up. I don't see how that is 100% certain, but I can definitely see with what the Red Sox have currently, maybe they can move 1 or 2 pieces, lower their payroll, and still be a contender. But why would you have to do it with Mookie Betts? I think it's clear as day that most Red Sox fans didn't realize that keeping JD Martinez was going to lead them to losing Mookie Betts. I don't see how any fan base would rather have a 32-year-old designated hitter as a defensive liability over a guy that is going to be 27. He's an MVP award winner, Gold Glove winner, he has an elite bat, and he has an elite glove. Or maybe Red Sox fans just weirdly would rather JD Martinez over Mookie Betts. Or they probably just didn't realize that they couldn't keep both of them. In a beautiful world, they can keep both of them. Literally speaking, they could, but they're trying to go under a different mold. They want to lower the payroll, and if that's what they want to do, it's likely that they do it. And if they're not going to give a contract to Mookie Betts, then he's gone. So that means you're better off trading him. But that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit that like button. And I will be making videos like this as stuff goes on in free agency because I think it's interesting. Primarily this one though, because man, the Red Sox are in an awkward situation. When you're a team that is winning ball games yet still trying to cut back, and a guy opts in that you didn't want to opt in, now you kind of might have to get rid of your star player.